Hey guys, welcome to another video of Maxi Aspie, and today I will be talking about autism then versus now. So as you saw my last sort of two videos, I've been talking about my conditions then versus now, and I thought, well, the one that I haven't discussed at the moment is autism. So how does autism affect me versus then versus now? I'd say the biggest difference for me was the socialisation growing up as a child. I didn't know how to socialise with people around my age. And funny enough, I look at my life and I think to myself, I still have sort of similar things even now. I've always found that I get on better with older people, and I've always found that I get on more sociably with older people. But I'd say the biggest barrier for me then was the socialisation. I wasn't very good at it. I didn't know how to make friends. I didn't even know how to communicate with friends. I couldn't talk till I was 6, so that didn't help. And that was a big barrier for me. Growing up, I think the thing that gets me the most now is sort of meltdown, burnout when I get home. I keep those things very private in my life. I try to, at the very least. But more nowadays, it's more anxiety and worrying. I find that still tough to this day. I do stress and I do over worry about things that maybe I don't need to. And that's always been the case, even back as a kid. Those worries have changed, they've gone from, this happening on the playground to more important, more real life changing things. So the anxieties have got a lot more, not important, but they seem more important now than what those do in hindsight. But I find the socialisation I finally have grasped. There's still certain situations in my life that I have to work on, but I'd say the biggest thing that has changed from then versus now is my true understanding of me, how it affects me, how self-aware I am of my condition, and how I can try to understand and help other people. I find that's helped a lot. So it's improved my patience, my tolerance, because I do want to help people and understand people a lot more. And that's something that I didn't have when I was younger. I just used to sort of think, oh, for God's sake, and get frustrated at that. But now there has been that development of self-awareness that I'm able to sort of go, well, I do that, and that might be why that person does this, and vice versa. That self-awareness has really helped me understand and be more aware of myself and other people. But it is a challenge, it always is, and I'd say as you get older as well, you start managing it a lot better. And that's sort of what I've had to do now, is I have to manage it a lot more. When I was a kid, I suppose you could say that my mum and dad had to manage it a lot more on my behalf. It still went on in my head, those worries, that anxiousness, that socialisation. But now, as I've gotten older, I can't really rely on, sort of parents to help me socialise or help me prioritise my worries and anxieties. I know that they're always there and I know that they love me, but at the same time I know that I'm now an adult and I have to go through those things sometimes on my own, and that can be quite difficult. So the biggest difference is, from then versus now, is self-awareness, more responsibility, more pressure, as we've talked about in other videos, but also being more cautious around things, and being more aware has really changed how I think of it. As back then I wasn't as aware, I didn't have as many responsibilities. I still worried about less sort of severe situations. At the time they wasn't any less severe for my head then than it is now. Those situations back then was just as important. But in hindsight, you sort of look at those things and go, yeah, but that wasn't really that important. But there is a lot more responsibility now, and because of that, it's come with more self-awareness and more understanding of how I am. And more meltdowns when I get home and more burnout. But you also develop the tools more to manage it. And I'd say that's been the biggest difference. So guys, for any tips you would like, please follow me, please subscribe to my channel, it does help a lot. Please feel free to message me if you ever need to chat, get something off your chest. I'm always here if you need. And guys, thank you for watching as always, take care, and goodbye for now.